All right, let's see what we can do with this one. Remember, we need to know what the slope of that is. It's a positive slope, it's a straight line, so it's a constant velocity. Then we need to go to the next one and say, what's the slope of that? Slope of a horizontal line is 0. Back over to here, we need to know what the slope of this is. Straight line, constant velocity. It has a negative slope. Then we need to know what the slope of this is. It's a 0 slope. Constant velocity has straight lines up here. Now we jump and we say, oh, it's a curve, so there's new rules. We need to know what's going on in the beginning of the story and the end of the story. Beginning of the story, it's basically 0. The end of the story, it's a big positive number because it's a big positive slope. Connect the dots. Then we need to know what the slope of this is. It's positive slope, so it has positive acceleration. It's speeding up. It was going 0, then it was going faster. Let's go to the next one. Beginning of the story is basically 0. The big end of the story is a big number in negative. So beginning of the story is basically 0. End of the story is big negative. And then we need to know what the slope of this one is. Slope of that one is a negative slope, so negative acceleration. And last one in this section, we do the curve thing. This one is a big positive number, so we put a dot at big positive. At the end of the story, it's basically 0. That should be a straight line. And then we look at the slope of this. It's a negative slope. You might be freaking out that these two are both negative acceleration, but this one is speeding up in the negative direction. This one is slowing down in the positive direction. We talked about that. All right. Slope of this line is negative. Then we have a curve. Beginning, it's still negative. At the end, it's a big positive number, so we're going to go like that. Slope of this line, did I say negative? I meant 0. Slope of this line is 0. Sorry. Now the slope of this line is a positive number, so we're just going to put a horizontal line there. This is about 0, so we'll put a dot at 0. At the end of that section, it's a big positive number. Let's connect the dots. And then these slopes seem to line up from segment 1 to segment 2, so I'm just going to go like that. It left at a constant velocity. Let's look at this. We have a positive slope, so we have a positive acceleration. We know it's accelerating because there's a curve up top. Then we have a horizontal line. Slope is 0. Let's go here. We have constant velocity, pretty big number. Let's leave it there at a big number. And then the slope, we got to switch our little tactics here. The slope seems to match up segment 1, so I'll put a dot there. It approaches 0. So I'm going to put a dot on 0, and I'm going to connect the dots. Let's go here. Horizontal line, 0 slope. Negative slope is a negative acceleration. These are getting a little tedious, aren't they? Yeah, there's 2 more sections after this. That is a constant velocity, so it's a negative slope, so it has a negative velocity. And then we're going to play our silly game of, that seems to be about a dot right there, and this one is really speeding up. It went to a horizontal line, which we probably shouldn't do, but it's really tough to make these graphics on in Word or whatever. Yeah, it really sped up after that. You can see it's approaching that. Now we gotta go to the next one. That is a slope of 0, which puts us there. And this is a big old negative slope. Bad boy's accelerating big time. Hey, look at the little fun one on the next one. Basically not starts, but has a slope of 0. Up here, again, it's not a vertical line. We know that's bad, but it's a positive slope and it's a big number. So we'll connect those dots. And then the slope should be about the same, so I put a dot where the other one was. And then at the end of that story, we're approaching 0. So you started off slow, you went fast, you went in the negative direction, you slowed down to a stop. So now we gotta play this silly game of slope again, and that's a positive slope. and that's a negative slope. And they should be about this. I missed. They should be about the same distance away, so I'm going to say that one was right about there. Ooh, now they're getting tricky with us. They want us to go backwards. We can do that, right? All right, let's do this. Let's look at, whoops, this. That has a constant velocity. How do we know? Because it's not changing, and it has a positive slope. So all we need is one of those. And then to go down, we need a, what's the slope of a horizontal line? 0. All right, let's go to this one. Well, this is changing velocity, and in the beginning of the story, it seems to be going about 0, and at the end of the story, it has a big it has a big positive velocity. So I'm going to give it a curve. When you have a line with a slope here, you need a curve up there. Now we're going to go down, and I know that's a positive slope, so I have a positive acceleration. All right, this is changing velocity, starts about 0. I'll go to red. Starts about 0, ends with a negative big velocity. Okay, that was really bad. Give that another shot. And now we have to go down, and that has a negative slope, so a negative acceleration. All right, let's do one more on this section. We got to look at the slope of that, or the what's going on here. It is a slope. We're not to acceleration yet. We're going to go up. So it starts out with a big velocity, big positive velocity. Switch colors. And ends at about 0. So we are going to give it one of those. Now we need to go down. Probably should use green there. That's a negative slope, so a negative acceleration. All right, last section. Everybody say yay, yay. All right, let's look what's going on here. We have acceleration right here. It starts out going slow, ends up going fast. So starts out going slow, ends up going fast. I'm going to have a curve. Then on part 2, I have a constant velocity. A constant velocity is just a straight line like that. I tried to make these match a little bit. I might have missed, but that's definitely a straight line there. And we got a curve in the beginning of the story. I forgot to circle that. That's a constant velocity, and that is a constant velocity up there. Now moving down, I have a positive slope, and I have a slope of 0 for the acceleration. Let's move on to this next part. Constant velocity, but it's a negative constant velocity. Negative constant velocity, so I have to have a negative slope on my line. And I'm going to start it up here and go like that. And now we approach stop. So I need to bring this to a stop. And I'm kind of struggling drawing on here. I hope you forgive me. So constant velocity to a slope, and that doesn't look very slopey. Should I try that one again? You're coming down, and you go to a slope. There we go. Good enough. All right. We're moving down. We have a slope of 0, and now we have a positive slope. So that one goes right there. Next one. This one you can just kind of do. These should look familiar to you right now. You're going fast in the positive direction. You come to a stop, and then you go fast in the negative direction. Does this look familiar? It should. We know that it should be like that, and pretend that's symmetrical. Let's see. Does this match going fast in the beginning of the story? Come to a stop, if that was a parabola, and then fast in the negative direction. This is just throwing a ball up in the air and letting it come back down. And then if I move down, this whole line is a negative slope, and that's what gravity is a negative acceleration. All right, this is just a flip-flop of what we just did. You're going fast in the negative direction. You come to 0. Pretend that's horizontal. Sorry, I could erase that. You go to horizontal, and then you go fast in the positive direction. So instead of a frown, we have a smile. Everybody smile. Oh my, this video needs to end. Alright, now we're going down. That whole line is a positive slope, and we have a positive acceleration. Woo woo, woo woo. Bye bye.